Let's fight, folks. Let's fight. Let's fight. Welcome in the ring. Good to have all of you guys here with us this evening. Pace and power. Good to have you here. We know the whole thing. Not some. The whole thing. Pace and power, good folks. Pace and power. We happy that you all are here with us. Pace and power. We hope you all know the whole thing too. And if you all don't, let's good evening to each and every one of you, wherever you all joining me from. Share that live. Smash that emoji button. Please and thank you. Share the live. Smash that emoji button for us. We hope that you guys are good and well, wherever you all are joining us from. Share. Please and thank you. Folks, it's a real delight. Paul Bourne and all the others, it's a real delight to be here with all of you. To be here with all of you. Don't keep us to yourselves. As good as we are. Angela Ben. Angela. Jordan. Angela, thanks for the thing. Angela, thanks for the thing. Please and thank you. Right? And is it your sister-in-law? Remind me. Thanks for the thing. You know, when you get practice, you got to tell people thanks. Don't want to come across as ungrateful, you know. Keep the practice flowing. Godfrey Montaigne. Good to have you here, Roxanne Odessa, and all you other folks. Y'all don't come and steal the joy. You know? Y'all don't come and steal the joy. Sabrina Doris, good to have you here. Dorrit Gibson, Carlisle Madu, Brendan Braffett, Winston Noel. Silly season is upon us. Silly season is upon us. I saw, good folks, so many people come out of quarters. You know, one man put out a New Year's message. I saw Telford Lane wrote a holy epistle. Holy epistle today. You know, and his own permutations about what might happen in 2025 general regional elections. GCOM said in a holding pattern for official word. Darrell Gibbons, pace and power. GCOM's waiting. GCOM's holding to all his spouses, wives and side chicks, husband, and as the Linden Hospital Administrator said, sweet. You know, ring the bell one time for you all. You know, to my brother there, where was that? Kururu. You see, wives at the bell every night. Young policeman, ring one time for her. Ring one time for her. 2025 is annoy people before they annoy you. Annoy unto others. Annoy unto others, folks, before they annoy unto you. Please and thank you. And you all know by now what we got to do with the PPP, especially, folks, in 2025. You all should know what we got to do to the PPP in 2025. Please and thank you, folks. Got to queue you all up. Got to queue you up. Folks, welcome to the broadcast. We're happy that you guys are here with us. Let's get a move on. Just after 8 at RN in the national capital city. Let us know if you all are hearing us loud and clear. We want to be talking to ourselves out here. Brendan Braffett, Winston Noel. How are you doing, Winston? Good to have you here. Winston and Edward, Renella, Erwin Don. Good to have you, Erwin. Great to have you on the live. Y'all know how we say it. We on the live. Karen Fresco. I see Karen name flip by in a little while. Carlton. Yeah. Carlton. Avril. Gail. Christopher Chichester. CC. Linden. Prosperous. Linnell Miller-Thumb. Robert Tucker. Good to have all of you on the live this evening, folks. Let's get a move on. Let's show you a couple of things we can be talking about this evening. On the card. Couple of things on the card. On the card. When last you heard that? Play it for them boys. Wake them up one time. Wake them. I try to do the play in the face. Wake them up one time. Yeah. It's whole animal farm, folks. Whole animal farm. You know, you all got some special mechanisms now. You're driving down Heroes Highway. If you could survive the simulated waves, if you can survive the simulated waves, you might run into, not physically, some fancy things telling you how fast you're going. It's for purpose. Send you a ticket later. What bird flu doing with we? Then we got the Venezuelans on the one side. Among some other things, we're going to spin your way. Among some other things. But let's open your appetites. You know, in little big people, you can't just rush into things. You got to kind of have a certain kind of way about you. You got to go about it a certain way. You can't just rush into everything. So, you know, I wish when I was younger, somebody told me that. You can't just, one time. Right? Sometimes you got to be a little, you know. I hope some of y'all like me. I said, man, got it in my hands. You got to massage the issue, you know. Massage it. That's what the open is for. You bring you all in lightly. Do you know, folks? Retired Assistant Commissioner of Police Paul Slowe. I look up to Paul Slowe. You know, I look up to him. Big brother, like a father. Respect of manners. He didn't just come through the first, you know. He didn't just come through. He was curious and he learned a lot as a policeman. Let me come down a little. I'm a little short. He learned a lot. He said, well, I won't give Paul the whole thing. Some space. I won't give you the whole thing. Let me stop moving, say, tumble upside down here. He learned a couple things. Folks, whatever's your vocation in this life, wherever your hands find it to do, you know, be curious. He was curious about being a policeman. He learned a couple of things, a great many things. And that is why I love to hear him talk about the Guyana police force. When Paul starts talking, Mr. Slowe, I'm making notes. Here he's talking about corruption within the Guyana police force. And what's been happening in the Police Service Commission, especially as it pertains to the promotion process. They try with Paul, you know. They want to bring their own list when he was chairman of the Police Service Commission, the PSC. Everyone wanted his boys to go for it. Paul said, no. You can hear about falsified documents, external interference, incompetence. People want promotion lists to be altered. And so they try to bring pressure to bear. But these things are consequences. I want you all to know, when you start interfering with things, it got consequences. There's a government that don't like systems to work independent. Once you're too independent, They got a problem with you. I see a lot of you out there, you know, in this, in the opposition parties. We got independence. Some of you with the PPP, you ever develop an independent thought that's contrary to what they believe, and you see how much they like you. You will see how much they like you. The opener, Paul Slowe and the Guyana Police Force, and in particular, the current promotion process.
Let me tell you what I understand. Sweet. I understand that the squatter, as is customary, at some stage, remember you have provided a list recommended to the Police Service Commission back sometime last year, around May, June, and the thing was leaked on social media. And part of the thing that he said, that they had this meeting with senior people to make this recommendation, and our investigation showed that one of the named person, one of the officers who was supposed to be at that meeting, was out of the country at the time. So it was a false document he sent, where he did not find favor at certain quarters. So what happened? We understand that they sent a list. The force sent a list of forces recommended to be promoted, which is not unusual, because that is what happens. I, as the chairman of the Police Service Commission, then we initiated the movement, the process that we wrote to the commission, to the commissioner, and said, we want to have forces, we want you to recommend person by a given time. When we did so in 2020, they couldn't meet the deadline. They asked for, Butas was the admin man, asked for extension, that was granted. They sent the list to us. We vetted the list, prepared the short list, and I got through there now and know what happened. So them sending a list of forces recommended to the commission is not anything new. That is how the process works. Now, my understanding is that the commission met, and the commission went through the list, and the commission sanitized the list, and the commission decided on persons who are to be promoted from inspector to assistant commissioner. And the commission then went ahead, and the commissioner sent the list and said, these are the persons promoted. I understand that did not find favor with the squatter. So he complained to the people MIA. So he sent this list, and the people changed the list and sent some people. So everything got on to elsewhere. The list went elsewhere. And mind you, according to the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, it is the Police Service Commission that has the responsibility to promote from the rank of inspector to assistant commissioner. No commissioner, no president, no prime minister, no minister of affairs. There's no role for them in that. None whatsoever. None. And I can say that because that is where my trouble started. Because when the president wanted people promoted and his people to be promoted, and our commission said, no, these people are not eligible for promotion. They trumped up charges and then they come after me. They came after me viciously. That is how we started. So you get back to the stage now where the constitutional body, the Police Service Commission, approved of promotions. But again, because they have an incompetent secretary and they don't know what's going on, nobody to advise them, they find themselves in a quandary. But let me tell you all again. Let me tell you, Police Service Commission is the constitutional body. Once they say you're promoted, nobody can change that. Nobody can change that. We made the point on the last program about how they mess up. Some how they F up the dates. Everybody will get the deputy commissioners, all them, commission everybody 19th of December. Wrong. You have to, when you promote people to replace. So in the case, let me repeat it for emphasis. In the case of the deputy commissioner, one had to replace a deputy commissioner that retired. A second one, the same thing. The third one, the same thing. The fourth one. And the fifth one, because there were only 4 at that time, appointed from a current date. And it affects people down the line because what's going to happen now? What dates, when you promote these assistant commissioners, what date are you going to give them? You're going to give them the same 19? The thing is messed up. They mess it up. And I said there is a way they can deal with it. There's nothing wrong with revisiting it. And I understand too that because we talked about the dates and so on, they're rushing now to make sure they can put date and they can get the right date. They also, but the people they have there are not competent enough to do that. Let me tell you straight out. They lack the competence to do that. And let me tell them further before I bring Mr. Conway. There is no need, when you make a, if you're the police office commission, you sit and you decide on a list of persons to be promoted. Now it comes out when we say earliest day. There's no pressing need to put the dates of the appointment at that time. I did it, put the dates and so on because I had the competence and I had the knowledge and I did the work. But there's no need to put the date when you when you sit down and you prepare. On quite a few occasions in the past, the promotion list will go from the Service Commission to the police force. The people will get a letter. It will be published, and they will tell you that the date will be announced at a later stage. So when they sit down now and they work out all the correct dates, then they put that in the official gazette. That is now published in FUSADA. The effective date, reference, normally there's a special order, so dated 31st of December, or if they bring it 1st of January, reference special order 1 of 2025, dated 1st of January 2025. These are the effective dates of the various promotions. Now you put it, that can come, sometimes it come in February, sometimes it come in March, late January, it can come at a later time. So I don't know, they're holding up this thing because Slowe and Conway talking about it, and they feel they're under pressure to try to get it right. But you know, the president talk about unity and the forces demoralize through all of these things. Because I hear too that one of the problems on the list, one ethnic group dominates. That's what has been said. So let's wait to see what will happen. One ethnic group of unqualified people dominates.
Pim, pim. Pim, pim. 1, 2. Pim, pim. One ethnic group dominates. So they gotta go fiddle now. They gotta go and fiddle. Well, if you want friends, family, and favorites, one ethnic group can dominate. But if it's a merit-based program, you got performance reviews and so on, things will go different. Pimp. Once you come into 592, I can tell you all, once we come into 592, we can circle back to the police force a little later on. You all be careful out there. The U.S. has registered its first bird flu-related death. Bird flu. One lifetime. Look how much things we got to deal with. PPP, bird flu, chicken pox, Bigfoot, chicken foot. Look, things we got to deal with. First confirmed case in Louisiana involving a patient over 65 years of age with underlying health conditions that contracted this H5N1 strain. This is according to the Louisiana Department of Health, and says that the patient likely contracted the virus from exposure to a personal flock of wild birds with no evidence yet of person-to-person transmission. Bird flu. Bird flu. Right? The Center for Disease Control, CDC, they've confirmed 66 cases in the US of the H5N1 since 2024, since last year, since last week. Yep, H5N1. Good. So you have to be careful out there. So while human infections remain rare, bird flu symptoms include fever. Right? What is that thing? What is that sickness, quote unquote? When you start hearing symptoms, you start feeling it. So here are these symptoms. Right? Human infections, they say, remain rare, but bird flu symptoms include fever, cough, and muscle aches. Fever, cough, muscle aches. The World Health Organization says that they're continuing to monitor the virus for changes that could increase human transmissibility. So they're watching that, folks. We got the people in all manner of other things to deal with. As we're on viruses, right? As we're on viruses, I know the Venezuelans don't cut out this part. The ones that troll me on TikTok, the ones that troll me on Twitter or X. You don't cut this part. You all make sure you all get the translations correct though. They'll cut this part. I want BJ them bring out the guns. Bar Jack Dio, Venezuelans. That's what it means. BJ. We ain't frightened no Delcy. God knows. We ain't frightened Maduro. So y'all come. We got the machete set. We got the 22 set. Y'all rock and come in. Rock and come in because it's more saber-rattling. More saber-rattling, folks. They're still eyeing our land. You all set? You all ready? Well, now I could see you and your machete. Savage Dish. Oh no. Mark, Gail. I could see you all armed and dangerous. Armed and dangerous. Guyana's condemned Maduro's plan for the election of a governor of the Essequibo region. Strongly condemn this. I wish we had somebody stronger than that. But it's what we got. It's what we got. Maduro's called for the elections to appoint a governor of the Essequibo region. Guyana says it's a violation of international, and it is a violation. You see, I'm going to vex some of y'all now. What you going to vex some of y'all now? You know this could never happen before, Borna. You know this could have never happened before, Borna. You know Granger wouldn't tolerate this. And then you got some clowns coming in asking, where the 80 million bonus? Where the 18 million bonus? How do you think you're still alive? How do you think the Venezuelans were kept at base? Only now them boys acting up. Only now. Because when you find a Pacu, it's busty back. I see Ali giving Maduro gold and rum and all manner of things. What has he gotten back for it? Saber-rattling. Saber-rattling. So, in addition to a violation of international law, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs today labeled the move as a breach of the Argyle Agreement. That agreement was dead the minute ink touched paper. You cannot dictate with a tyrant. You cannot negotiate. The words that mean nothing. They say blue today, tomorrow they say red. However they wake up. However they wake up. So Foreign Affairs says it's a breach of the Argyle Agreement. Look who pushed the agreement. Gonzalez, Ralph. Ralph pushed the agreement. What I will support is that it goes against a recent International Court of Justice order, which calls for both peaceful dispute resolution and prohibits actions that alter the status quo. And which you there, Todd? But the Argyle thing, farce. But when you find a Pacu, you're going to bust it back. So you run back a bus many times. Many, many times. Guyana says its plans to alert the international community as it should. As it should. Them boys would not have risked that. With Forbes. You know something I don't get vexed. Pelly TV. Don't get Pelly with a glass bottle, man. No, this was a paper cup. Vexed. Right? Todd got to step up a little bit. Todd got to step up a little bit. Our Foreign Affairs Minister got to step up. Foreign Affairs ministers used to be formidable people in this arena. We got Todd. We got Todd. We got Jack Dio. I could remember the fear in Jack Dio. Oh, Delcy talking, trembling, you know. Trembling. Oh, Delcy talking as though she can be in ship in the range and Paul drive next week. Fearful. I see her friend in Kamaka the other day, walking around. I said, look, this one here. In the height of the referendum, her friend spent about 8 minutes in Kamaka. Run down by the waterfront, jump on a mic, talk quick, and then fly back out. And while the rest of us catching with tail here on a mountain top with about 50 soldiers, saying that he down to earth. 50 soldiers and him on a mountain top. Look, he's a man of the people. Where are the soldiers guarding you? We went to Imbatero, Region 1, Mabaruma. We went to Yarakita, Region 1. Talked with residents, scared out of the wits. And we ministers them flying out, spineless and weak. Spineless and weak. But I want them boys to know they got a couple of years, not like that. There's not a good example of a true Guyanese. See a rocket coming. We got machetes, we got that set. Rocket coming. And those of you who know a higher power, you all know that the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God in the pulling down these tyrants. Yep. So that's some of the things happening regionally. Some of the things happening internationally, H5N1. And then you got this other virus next door here. We got that too. So that's some of what we're following too. Did say that we plan to complain to the international authorities. Right? We're going to do exactly that. Complain to the international authorities. So watch for that, folks. Watch for that. Please and thank you. Watch for that. Faulty gas bottle heads. This is what the third incident. Fourth, that explosion on the East Coast quite recently. I read that story in a little disbelief. Family said they woke up, they were smelling gas. Mommy went and light the stove. Woke up smelling gas, both husband and wife. Then light the stove. Folks, that explosion leveled that house, blew down walls, blew off the roof. Badly burning husband and wife. I wonder what happened in Gaza and Gully and Ukraine and Russia. And that's just one gas explosion. One gas bottle. That kind of destruction in that house. Man, people live through bombings every day. But our thoughts and prayers with the folks who were injured in this explosion. Guy Gas, the gas company, says it rejects claims that its gas head or regulator, we say the gas bottle head. Let's get to the point. The regulator, the gas bottle head, was to be blamed, are faulty. They said they reject that. Wishing the family a speedy recovery. They rejected the claims of a faulty regulator linked to their products. It says it has an unblemished safety record. Unblemished. And it further stated that its cylinders and fittings meet the international standard. DOT ISO CE certificate, international standard. Straight to the point. And they are refuting the assertions from a competitor, they see, blaming a Guy gas regulator for the accident. You know what I think should happen here? I know some of you all watching us young, you might not remember that period when Tylenol had a problem. Somebody was putting, they found the person eventually, cyanide in Tylenol bottles on pharmacy shelves. A few folks died. But the point I want to make here is that Tylenol recalled all. all their medications that were in the market, recalled all of them, traced back, and that's how they were able, doing that back tracing, to know what was really happening. Somebody was going on the shelves in this, putting cyanide. And that is how, if you open a Tylenol bottle, or you see there's a silver cap, you got to peel it back. And they tell you, once that is broken, that's a safety. Don't use it. That's a safety feature that came about after that. So I would advise these companies, instead of, who competitor doing what and saying what and all of that, you're going to do some PR in this matter. If you're going to pull back the regulators, the gas bottle head, right, and do an overhaul. Tylenol today as a company is stronger for it. Much, much stronger for it. Too many gas bottles. Too many. Right? Far too many. Far too many. Power. Power problems, folks. We got a lot of power problems. And it's so interesting, to see these shifty characters trying to find some maneuverability, to avoid culpability. That's like Duncan swallow dictionary tonight. Enter Prime Minister Phillips. Enter the original rubber stamp. You think it's one thing wrong in this place? You think it's one thing wrong in this place? It was so interesting to hear and to see Phillips dancing all over the place, talking about, oh, nice time, But this thing got a lot of problems. Gas got a lot of problems. Right? Quite a lot of problems. I know what else I can tell you. Quite a lot of problems. I hope we get to where we need to be. This gas, the sure problem. Costs going up. And I heard the PM talk some weird things in this end of year press conference recently. Yeah, I better check on the PM. PM wink if you need intervention. Take a listen.
The gas-to-energy project has multiple moving parts, says Minister Deodat Indar. He was addressing a press conference on Monday.
And the Vice President of his weekly press conference sometime will answer questions on it. The project is ongoing. There are multiple parts of it, and every aspect of that project is being monitored, and we're working with all of those contractors to make sure that they bring it on time as contractually obligated to do so.
Almost every week, there's a lot of information being disseminated on the gas to energy project. But I don't know if you want a document, so to speak, that's what you're asking for, a written report on the project.
The second speaker was Prime Minister Mark Phillips. He couldn't provide information on the financial aspect of the project. He said that the responsibility falls to Vice President Bharat Jagdeo.
And I rather prefer that we perhaps defer that question to his press conference, because he's handling information pertaining to that. And he would have been given on a weekly basis information pertaining to the finances and how we intend to repay loan, etc., for the gas to energy project.
But that wasn't entirely true. On 3 occasions, Prime Minister Phillips had promised to lay over in the National Assembly the documents pertaining to projects. This is still to be done.
The gas to energy project, we express a lot of concern about the finances, but I want to rest assured that the VP has dealt with the finances, and he will continue to disseminate the information on finances. What is important for the Guyanese people is the benefits of the project.
There are still a lot of questions being asked. The projected cost of the gas to energy project is some 2.4 billion US dollars. This could increase when one considers the rental of power ships and the resultant costs. But there are two claims by gas to energy contractors, CH4 and Saker. The contractors filed additional claims to the tune of $50 million. These claims now worth 100 million US dollars, and they have gone to arbitration. The company was entrusted with completing the works at Wales. However, there was a problem with the foundation site. The gas pipeline is expected to land at La Jalisi, West Coast, Demerara, but even here the matters before the courts. Dr. Steve Surge Bali is contesting the cost offer for his land through which the pipeline will pass. The JAGDIO says that the project should be completed by December 2025.
Yep. So don't ask us the price. We don't need the price. You gotta go up some. Go up the road. Wait on Thursday for price. We don't need price here. Well, price got to do with it, man. Benefits. Don't worry about price. Corruption and incompetence and all of that. Delays and mismanagement. Don't bother with that. Benefits, man. Benefits. That's the important thing. The ends justify the means. That's a mark. They captured right there. The ends. I don't know. Mark is not spring chicken, but Mark entered politics in 2020 looking sprightly. Look at look at the gun Mark looking like a cab horse here now. Cab horse PM. Gun Mark looking like a cab horse. Them boys like the sucky he. Mark, correct. Better follow earphone. One day, one week earphone half gray. Next week jet black. You don't know. When you'll be backfiring, half gray. Look at upset some of y'all now. Look at upset some of y'all more. Since I started talking about Mark, y'all, lots of you got upset. Upset some of y'all more. Right? Ready? Ready? Yeah. Upset some. Your friend, man. Your friend. Naomi, your friend. Efua Bantu King. Pamela Joy, Arija, Tracy, Pretty Militia, your friend. The swinger. The swinger. GCOM says it awaits the official election day date. The official date for election day to formally begin its preparations. The Guyana Elections Commission. It said it cannot formally. It can't form. They could give the list to the cash grant people. They got them writing checks for dead people and so on, but they can't formally begin preparations, you see. And that's what they're telling us. They can't formally do it. So they're waiting the official date from our fund. Right? They're waiting the official date. This is all according to GCOM, you see. Preliminary activities, they say, include voter registration, claim and objections, and all of that is on the way. And they've had over 1,700 new applications submitted. Right? And they're currently in the phase of discussing biometrics. As Vincent Alexander was saying quite recently, they ain't got no plausible, believable reason why they should reject biometrics. Right? They ain't got no real reason. And then did I hear him say that the chairman made a decision, she's neither for nor against, but then she says she has to revisit her decision. That's what she said. She got to revisit it. Right? That's what, in a recent meeting, that's what she said. She got to revisit that decision. I trust she's happy. I trust she's happy. Take a look, folks. Take a listen.
The issue of biometrics appears to be multidimensional. The registration for the cash grant involved the use of biometrics. Photographs were taken for the identification of the potential cash grant recipients. Commissioner of the Guyana Elections Commission, Vincent Alexander, said on a podcast that there is now an arrangement for the production of electronic ID cards.
Well, they're shying away for biometrics for
voting purposes.
But I think they're going to concoct at an opportune time for them legislation for that universal card. But having said that, the argument of the Attorney General about biometrics being unconstitutional is baseless.
Attorney General Anil Nadlal had said that for biometrics to be introduced for the elections, there would have to be legislative reforms.
When we talk about biometrics, we're talking about two things: registration, digital registration. If one reads the laws pertaining to registration, GCOM has to make the determination of how it conducts its registration.
He said that biometrics would merely involve taking the fingerprints digitally instead of manually, as is being done at this time.
There's no legal requirement, no legal change for that to occur. The law provides for GCOM to determine how fingerprints, how registration is done.
Yeah, Commissioner Vincent Alexander, always on the ready to bring clarity to these issues. That's what he said. So you could use biometrics for the crash grant, for the scam grant, but you can't use biometrics for the election. You know, one good thing I agreed with this gentleman, Telford Lane, today in this long missive that he put on Facebook concerning the entry of Azruddin Mohammed into election 2025. According to him, he said the PPP get ready to rig the next election. All the signs are there. They're getting ready to rig the next election. That's why they won't want biometrics. Here is Commissioner Alexander saying that they're doing it manually right now, collecting the biometric information. We can do it, digitally. People say it can take a long time. But here they're boasting, oh, we don't register 300, 400,000 people for the cash grant. Don't we need enough, equal, if not even more, clarity with our general and regional elections upcoming? Valid, credible votes? Talking about vote buying. Talking about vote buying. Talking about vote buying. Next time, folks, anything you call right now, you could get it. Here's the president today announcing joint services ranks at the lowest level will now receive a basic salary of $130,000. How much is that? That is 500 US and then another 150, 650 US. Somebody else said this, half week pay. Joint services. Them boys buying out everything, buying out everything. Everything. Take a look, take a listen.
President Irfanali on Wednesday announced that all joint services ranks will receive a minimum salary of $130,000 per month. Currently, constables in the joint services earn between $105,000 and $110,000 per month. In December, the president also announced that the country's servicemen and women would benefit from a 1-month bonus in addition to the 10% retroactive salary increase for public servants. Today, Wednesday, opposition leader Aubrey Norton said that the $130,000 isn't a livable wage.
Irfanali's announcement of $130,000 minimum wage for the joint services is a political gimmick. Again, it is not a livable income.
He said that such political gimmicks will continue until the government provides people with a livable wage.
The public service is still at $100,000 per month. Is he going to raise it to 100,000? And even if he does that, you're still in the dilemma of not having a livable income. With the oil resources we have, the people of Guyana should be getting a minimum, a livable income. And I believe at this stage, a minimum that a livable income is about $200,000 per
The
month.
president's salary increase for this month is $290,000 a month, Norton said.
How could he be serious about the interests of the people of Guyana when, as an individual, he gets that kind of money and you are struggling to give the people $200,000 per month, which is what they need?
Yeah. There you have it, folks. Imagine the increase that Irfan got, not 10% recently, 290 something thousand. Joint services carry home 130, the lowest level. You understand why certain vices prevail in the public sector? We got the money, let's pay our people well, train them well. You all know in some other country, you're a policeman, right in the region, now let's go far. Right in the region, you're a policeman, a teacher, you set. And as we run the joint services in Orphan Alley, as we there, Live Lines for Change that to use warns that this recent state of emergency, the SOE in Trinidad and Tobago, it should serve as a cautionary tale for Guyana. He's been highlighting this growing threat of organized crime. You know, them guys like that. That's their forte, organized crime. And lack of confidence in local law enforcement. And talking largely about a need for a CARICOM-wide strategy to tackle crime. Come on, Irfan. Your friend is the chairman of CARICOM now. We got to pick up the pace a little bit, just a little bit, folks. Take a look. Take a listen.
The declaration of a state of emergency by Trinidad and Tobago should be a warning to Guyana. Leader of the Alliance for Change, Nigel Hughes, told the recent press conference that the Twin Island Republic is grappling with a grave threat to the order of society.
We should, as a nation, offer to assist in any way we can. But more importantly for Guyana, the lessons from Trinidad and Tobago, our sister CARICOM country, are very, very salutary. Trinidad and Tobago was wealthy in the 1970s as a result of oil and gas, and it went through several cycles of that. And they're now at the stage where the law enforcement agencies are probably outgunned by the criminal gangs.
He said that at present, the people of Guyana have a lack of confidence in the local law enforcement agency.
And we are well aware of the capacities of the criminal enterprise in this country. The fact that we have to get foreign assistance to identify where nearly $200,000 worth of cocaine may be buried within our own shores is a clear indication of our incapacity to fight serious crime.
He said that all the factors that lead to the difficulties in Trinidad and Tobago will inevitably affect Guyana.
In similar or more dramatic fashion, unless, of course, we all collectively take a common position in dealing with crime. The reality with the amount of money that passes through the entire Caribbean every year in the billions of US dollars, whether in the form of narcotics, whether in the form of arms, or whether in the proceeds of narcotic sales, threatens the integrity of several Caribbean states.
He said that Guyana, like Trinidad, has ethnic suspicion.
We need to find a common front before it becomes too late for us. We are only too well aware of the fragility of our law enforcement agencies and their capacities.
He said that there should be a CARICOM-wide approach to address this level of threat to the order of the Guyanese society.
We need a long-term solution, and therefore we have to look at the root causes of what has led to Trinidad being where it is, and what we need to do in Guyana to be able to arrest any development in that direction.
Yep. Leader of the Alliance for Change, Nigel Hughes, saying we got some work here to do to pick up the pace. But I know these guys love it when it's so topsy-turvy. They love it. We gotta arrest this situation before it gets out of hand. Please and thank you. The closer. Why do you want to appoint these eminently qualified jurists that we have in the acting Chief Justice, that we have in the acting Chancellor of the Judiciary? Why? You know, I have mad respect for Paul Slowe, mad respect for Dr. David Hines. He was on the latest program, Politics 101, quite recently. One of the persons behind the most recent effort of educating us on what's happening, mobilizing us. Audreyanna Thomas, she's been very critical among a number of other persons too. And this refusal of Irfan Ali to confirm acting Chief Justice and the Chancellor. 7 years the lady's acting. 7 years in these roles. And Audreyanna Thomas, she's been calling for transparency, demanding that government discloses the criteria it's using to evaluate their performance. Right? And to justify their decision to go in another direction, because that's where they want to go, in another direction. Justify that. And she, like so many others, been calling for accountability. And they've been raising the concerns of the potential impact that further delay could have on Guyana's governance. As I said, she appeared on Politics 101 recently with Dr. David Hines. The closer, folks. Take a look. Take a listen.
But you see, the government cannot even confirm the acting Chief Justice without confirming the Chancellor. So let's assume that they would like to confirm the acting Chief Justice. They cannot do that except they confirm the acting Chancellor. So I think that what we have here is a situation where so yes, that is one side of the issue. The other aspect is where the government has shown blatantly no indication after 7 years of these two esteemed jurists acting in their positions. The government has shown no interest in confirming them. And I think what is even more interesting is that the government has not even provided the people of this country with a reason. With what was if it is that the government does not want to confirm them, what is the criteria that was used to evaluate their performances? So what we would like to ask the government is what criteria, what mechanism was used to evaluate the performance of the Commissioner of Police, Clifton Hickins, for the government to determine that he was fit and proper to be the Commissioner of Police by any means necessary? And what is the mechanism that is being used to determine whether the government confirms the Chief Justice and the Chancellor of the Judiciary? So apparently the government has different mechanisms for evaluating performances. And so I think what the protests that we've been having and the awareness that we are trying to create, and it's more than awareness, it's also raising the level of consciousness also that the government must not and cannot anymore think that they can come to the people of this country and say, we do not want the acting Chancellor in this position. We do not want the acting Chief Justice in this position. and we're going to remove them. No, we must say why. And you're not going to move them until you tell us why. And you're not going to remove them until you say to us that these are the criteria, these are this is the mechanism that was used to evaluate their performances. What we would also like to see is what is the criteria that was used in the selection process for, let's say, perhaps other, because if they're removed, the government has to find other persons to be replaced. So the government must have some kind of a mechanism to determine suitability for their successors. So I really do think that the time has come for us to say to the government that as a people of Guyana, we've really had enough of this pedestrian and simplistic approach to governance, to decision making, which would impact our lives, and which could impact our lives in ways that can be negatively or positively.
Yep, there you have it. Time up. That's what we gotta say to them. Share the live, folks. Smash that emoji button, please and thank you. Partner with us too. And you see folks like Naomi, you're gonna be the first person we ban in this thing here. on this blue app, you're gonna be the first person we ban on the blue app. Take it from me. we gotta make an executive decision. You're gonna be the first person we ban on the blue app. Right? Partner with us to keep us going. Please and thank you. Naomi, better must come. Folks, have a fantastic rest of the evening. Charles Nelson, Evelina, Anthony Jarvis, Linden. I see Iban, Siobhan, and Lucille. You picked a fine time to leave me. Iban, who no. Linda, all the other folks joining us this evening. Pace and power. That's our time. That's our program. See, we'll see you guys in the next one.